Here we go.
Divine Light Pictures presents.
What's up? I'm Katherine, and I'm here with
Erin.
the girl you're seeing on the screen right now. And yeah, we're in Silver Lake, California. We're actually at my pad right now doing this. So it's very chill. And if you hear animals in the background, that's because I kind of live in a zoo. Erin and I met about 5 years ago. I met Erin in the audience of a play. And at the time I was writing Annabelle, and I saw her and I just knew that she was Annabelle, and so I went up to her and, do you remember what I said?
Yeah, she came up to me and she said, "Please tell me that you're an actress." And I told her I was.
Did you think I was trying to hit on you?
No, I didn't, actually.
This opening scene right here was a nightmare to shoot, and because we had such time constraints on the movie, and originally the opening was intercut with Simone jogging and Simone in her room, so you really got a sense of what her life was like. But Diane is a yoga person. She's not a runner, and neither Diane or I was happy with how she was coming across running, and felt like she looked a lot nicer revealing her in the classroom. And Wendy Shaw, who came in for the day to be your bitchy mother. God, you smoke so much in this movie. It's crazy.
The first day of shooting, I lost my voice because I hadn't been smoking. I'm not a smoker, and I lost my voice, and then I became a smoker during the movie.
Yoshi, my dog is eating treats. Anyway, so this classroom scenes were they were very challenging to shoot. They were a real challenge, actually, because we didn't have a lot of time to shoot this movie. We shot it in 20 days. So we were shooting about 6-7 pages of dialogue a day. That's Gustine. She came on, we had another cat casted, and we ended up having to part ways after the first day of shooting, and Gustine came in that day of shooting and took over and just really nailed that part. I'm so glad that she did it. She just, all of the girls fit in, and there's Michelle Horn.
And that girl behind with the glasses is actually my cousin.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh my God.
And there's Diane in the way background. This, well, Simone C in the suit. This scene originally was shot to where they kind of make eye contact for the first time here. And then Simone and Annabelle actually meet outside, but we had to cut it because we didn't have a lot of time to shoot it, and the continuity was off, and Annabelle was coming across as really predatorial and aggressive in the meeting, and my fault, you know, first feature. But when you only have 2 takes to do things, it's not like you can try a bunch of different things. So yeah, they were originally supposed to meet here, so the girls walk away, and then Simone walks up to Annabelle, and it's like, hey, how are you? You know, all that bullshit. So now we just cut straight to the hallway, which is hard for me to watch because yeah, I wish that the meeting outside could have worked, but it just didn't, so you have to let it go. And this scene was a nightmare because Diane, remember, she had to go to a wedding, so we had to shoot her out in 20 minutes. Remember, I had to stand in for her? So this was a nightmare because basically I had 20 minutes to cover this entire scene, and it's a Steadicam shot, so it was just an absolute nightmare. But you guys nailed it, and we got it. But I really wish that we could have kept them meeting outside because it's very cutty and stuff. And we didn't have enough time to shoot the interior where Annabelle meets Immaculata, so we just had to cut. So it's the joy of no-budget filmmaking. I love this cafeteria. We really wanted to create a really Cynthia, the DP, and I wanted to create a really lush, sort of warm, beautiful film. And, everything is really stylized, and, we were really particular about our locations and where we shot. And I love Laura.
She's a fabulous actress to work with.
She actually is the one that came up with the idea for Collins to be a cutter, which I thought was a fantastic idea.
Both her and Gustine and Michelle, all three of them, it was just great to work with girls.
Oh, yeah.
And who it was.
So Erin and I, it took a long time to turn Erin into a lesbian, I must say. Because when I first met Erin, you were really shy. You were just fresh off the boat. And, but there was just something about her. I don't know what it was, but I just had an instinct about it. But it took years and years of just really working with body language and, really getting in touch. I mean, what do you feel like? It was really getting in touch with like a masculine side of yourself, or?
Yeah, but it was also getting in touch with being comfortable with you. Which took a long time, which now I don't think takes as long with me just getting comfortable. But it took a long time to get comfortable to a place where I could just open up and be.
Just a little side note here: when you hear the porcupine fart, that would be me. But, with my mouth, of course. And anytime you hear Diane Simone breathe or cry, that would be me also. And there's Heather and I walking across. And that was an accident because we had an ADR session and we only had one day that we could do it. And when we needed to do these particular things, Diane was out of town, so I had to do it myself.
Can I just say a side note about Collins, what she's wearing right now? Every time Stephanie put her in an outfit, it's the funniest thing that she has sweatpants on underneath her schoolgirl uniform.
But what about content?
I think I love the oh, her facial expressions are priceless. This movie was really challenging to write because when I started writing it, I was really young and I was so much like Annabelle. And then I started directing TV and the script kind of was on the back burner for a couple of years. And then I picked it up again and I was so much like Simone, because I had experienced heartbreak and just was more emotionally shut down, whereas before I was more like aggressive and more like Annabelle. So it was a real challenge to really come to terms with like balancing them out. And, I never wanted Annabelle to come across as just manipulative or sort of out for a conquest, And I think Erin, if it would have been any other actress, I don't think it would have worked because Erin has such a depth and intensity in her eyes that even though Erin can play this sexually aggressive, she still has a way of seeming very like real and present, and so I'm glad that you got to do it.
Me too. There was a minute there.
Yeah.
This church was beautiful. And Kevin. Absolutely love Kevin.
And sure enough,
There's my mom in the corner, her shoulder. I think you actually get to. My mom came to help out. She lives in Louisiana, and she played a nun. Look, there she is. You can like kind of see her. That's fun. She loved that. The church was a nightmare. I hate to say it, but most of the scenes were a nightmare. I mean, I loved making this movie, but we just didn't have any money, and we were on such a tight schedule that it just, it wasn't like you could just sit with the scene. It was like a producer coming up to us saying, okay, you have 15 minutes to cover this scene. And just such a challenge, Such a real challenge. Oh, we scraped the floor here and had to pay them a lot of money.
Really?
Yeah, this is my favorite Indian restaurant, Tantra. Yeah, we scraped the floor. Yeah. I think Diane looks beautiful here. I think she looks really stunning. And Marcus. Marcus, who is your...
He's like surrogate father, mentor, teacher, friend.
Any thoughts about our conversation?
So how was it working with Diane?
It was great. It was, I think it worked out very nicely that she came on so last minute because I didn't know her at all. So the love and the draw towards her was all very easy and natural.
Yeah, we went through 3 Simones in a 6-week period prior to shooting, and it was that's my word of the day, nightmare. It was really hard because we would get attached to someone that we liked or whatever, and then it didn't work out. But we were 3 days until starting shooting, and we had no Simone. And I seriously remember I thought I was gonna have to play her. Mm-hmm. And my manager said, you know, I know this actress and she's really fantastic and she's in Montana right now, but I should send her the script. And my manager sent Diane the script, and I love this scene, sorry. But anyway, so myself, Erin, and Diane flew in from Montana 3 days before shooting. We met at the Coffee Bean, and I remember the second that Diane and Erin like made eye contact and they both kind of smiled at each other, I remember the hair on my arms stood up, and it was just like, wow, that's it. You know, I mean, you guys we all 3 immediately had sort of this synchronistic connection, you know?
I remember she got up and went to the bathroom and you looked at me. She's like, she's it. What do you think? You like her, right? You like her, and you were so excited and giddy about it. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, because I was really scared that I was going to have to play her, and I just did not want to. I love this scene. Go.
Oh, no, I was going to say we missed the part where I checked her out, which
Oh,
I
I
keep
love
hearing
it.
is people like.
When she's walking up and you're eyeing her ass. Yeah. And this for me is honestly where the movie starts. I don't like anything else before that. I'll just have to be honest. Like, this to me is where it begins for me. So during the editing process, I was just completely bored up until now, and I wish that I could have just started the whole movie with this scene.
Rise out of me.
And why would I want to do that?
Perhaps to get attention?
Or perhaps I'm intrigued
Intrigued by what?
by you. I had a lot of fun being Annabelle.
Oh, I bet you did.
That's right. And that's my cousin again with the glasses on that just walked in front of me. Well, tell her it's me.
Right. Up the hill. Then as you're winding around. Oh, Miss Bradley, Mother Immaculata wants to see you.
There's Harold and Maud the fish. I felt like it would be a good metaphor, you know, just kind of the 2 of them sort of in a fishbowl and everybody looking in, and that's my depth for the movie. But I sort of screwed up with Immaculata's character, you know, God Love Me, first movie, but I originally told Bruce, our amazing production designer, that I kind of wanted her to be messy. And so I asked him to design the office really messy, but what I failed to do was make her wardrobe or her hair a little frazzled. So here she is so well put together, and then she has a messy office. I mean, that's just me being anal. This was one of my favorite scenes in the movie.
What are you guys doing?
It was, but it was a bitch to shoot.
Because it was so hot. It was like hot.
It was so hot, and we had a smoke machine, and I was smoking in there over and over and over again, and it was sober. But it was so much fun, and it was pretty soon when we started, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. It was just really good bonding for the 4 of us.
Would you shut up about that?
I love that statue looking at Kristen like that. And you know, we cut a bunch of lines from this scene, because you remember Kat says, you want to hook up with Miss Bradley, don't you? And you're like, no, I don't. She's like, $20 says you whatever. And we wanted to cut that because we felt like it was too foretelling of what's going to happen. Not like you, I mean, you know what's going to happen. Jeez, just read the back of the box. But Gus was, I feel like Gus was a really great subplot with you because, you know, I really love that idea of sort of the first kind of crushes that you get in high school, and the fact that she can start to see that you're interested in your teacher. You know, I really like the way that was played.
Wow.
You know.
That is. Wow.
Finally, a lesbian. I was worried we were never gonna have one after Michelle Peters graduated.
What are you guys doing down here?
Getting drunk.
One of
We're just leaving.
Simone's many scarves. I've had so many people ask me if I purposely put her, you know, wanted her to have a lot of scarves because maybe she wanted to hang herself. I swear I've had people ask me that. It's like, no.
I don't smoke.
But they're good. I got them in
I
time.
like sexual tension when, I really like when two characters butt heads. For me, it really raises sexual tension, you know, when it's just like this control sort of game and it's, you know, obviously she's annoyed and pissed off, and I just think that that's a really great base to start sexual tension.
Because that's life.
I told you I'm not taking them off.
All right.
That's all I'm gonna say there.
All right. All right.
Hand over the beads.
Do you remember her? Did you ever see Mr. Belvedere, that TV show? She was the mom of Mr. Belvedere. She's like the sweetest woman ever. Like, I
And a
couldn't.
fabulous
Being
actress.
expelled from your first 2 schools wasn't enough for you?
Yeah. This was a hard day of shooting because we had to shoot this scene and we also had to shoot like the ending, and you know, because when you're making a film, you have to shoot out the entire location. So we're in this room, meaning we got to shoot every single scene that takes place in this room, and so actors are just on a constant roller coaster of where they're at, you know, emotionally, and this was a really hard day. I love that. My mom is a hardcore Catholic, and I am not. But there's something about Catholicism that's sexy to me. I don't know, like the churches and the crosses. I don't know. There's something so taboo about it.
Too hard a job, Simone. I was able to control you.
And we fought a lot about whether or not we were going to make Immaculata Simone's aunt. That was a big to-do.
Your homework assignment for tonight is to take one of the poems that I'm listing on the board and write a 2-page analysis.
This is all ADR'd.
And it's due tomorrow.
The dialogue and the all this that she's saying, we had to do, you know, afterwards, and I love this line. Kat says I wouldn't read that. It's classic.
I wouldn't read that.
This is also, I think, one of my favorite scenes between you and Diane,
Annabelle, I need to speak
because
with
I
you.
really feel like there's a switch here, you know?
Sound hated me for that. Tapping my pen. Byron, we love which we love.
Why aren't you wearing your
Who we
rosary?
love. And Jenny Green.
You don't want to get
You look really pissed off there.
trust me.
Karen did such a great job on your makeup. I mean, you just, you know, I have to be honest, like the getting this movie made was really hard because Erin, it was her first film, and I remember I kept saying to, you know, the people who were not very supportive of using you, that they felt you didn't have the edge to do it you know, because you have such a soft face and a sweet face. And I said, don't, she'll do it. It's going to come from inside, you know. And I said, I remember telling them, I'm like, makeup, hair, wardrobe, like it's all a part of it, because we did. I remember you came in, do you remember, to do the lighting test at Panavision when we did the camera test? And we watched, a bunch of us watched it, and there were some concerns, like she just doesn't look edgy enough, you know? And I swear, between your wardrobe and your hair and your makeup, it's like, it all like made a difference in the end to create her, but ultimately I think it totally came from within, you know?
Where did this part come from for you?
And there I am. That was not supposed to happen. I love her sitting in the closet, you know? I'm so into metaphors. This was, I really wanted to explore the idea of, the first person that I ever really had a crush on committed suicide a couple of years ago. And I just added that to the script because I thought it's really hard to open your heart again when you lose someone, you know, especially to suicide. So I wanted to add that in because I was curious to see where that would go.
I have something.
I love in the scene that, because originally I think we even shot it a couple of times where Kat is not in the room, and that you went and grabbed her that day.
I don't like this scene.
I don't like the scene
I
either,
don't
but I
like-
like that Kat's in it.
I like that Kat's in it. I just don't. I just, it's so hard, you know. You just want more time and more money, and we just had no time, and I just couldn't cover it the way I wanted to cover it. And
Why are you making this so hard?
you know, I mean, you're basically, the take that you're seeing of Diane is like the only one she basically had. So I couldn't play around with different emotions and different things that I wanted to try with her character. I mean, the limitations were pretty intense. But it's, you know, I mean, it's all practice. It's all part of the process. I mean, I just can't even believe we made it for what we did make it for, you know? This was a big debate. Should she reach out and touch her hand? Should she not? I felt like, you know, it had to be something pretty significant for Annabelle to respond because she's so strong-willed, you know? And this insert that you're about to see was shot 3 weeks after we stopped shooting because I wanted the quote to match the card that Annabelle writes to Simone when she sends her flowers. So I reshot this a couple weeks later. Despise that shot. I really do. We just didn't have enough money to have a lot of extras, so it just looks very vacant and isolated. But that's just me. I'm really picky, and I'm pretty hard on myself, so nothing's ever good enough, you know? It's all good. It's all a learning process. First film, you learn a hell of a lot. It's kind of like your film school. We were really rushed having to shoot this one, too.
Come on, Annabelle, we're gonna take Prissy out.
But that was your one-take moment that day.
Yeah, you did it in one take. I like that look when you turn around. This scene bugs me. I have an issue with this scene because it just feels so set up, and we were just in the library, and it's because scenes were cut out in between it, but I just felt really uncomfortable about this scene because it just felt so set up, like, oh, there she's alone in the library, and Annabelle walks in, and oh, can I sit with you? And okay, here's our scene.
These are really amazing. Don't Don't get me wrong, you're a great teacher. I hated shooting this scene too because for sound and height reasons I had to sit in the chair a certain way. And it just made me really uncomfortable because I didn't know what to do with my body. And there are our producers, Jenny and Greg, as Simone's parents.
Not really.
I like the way that you guys play this scene, though. I like Diane's really showing a sweet side, which I feel like, you know, Simone really needs to be a sympathetic character. I mean, you have to really feel like she has a good heart, which she does, and I feel like it comes across in this scene. And you know, your ability to interact with her in this scene is really good. And like the one funny moment you have, because you're, you know what I'm saying? Because Annabelle's so damn serious and intense.
Which we went back and forth about saying that line or not saying that line, and I'm glad that
That was taken of me, like, that's a picture that's like 5 years old. And there's a photo shoot Diane and I went and did.
We grew up together.
Where is she now?
She died a few years ago.
I was really adamant that Diane or Simone wear glasses because I kind of have a little glasses fetish, and, well, who doesn't? So I was really, really, really particular about the kind of glasses that she wore and when she wore them, and just felt like it gave it kind of that nice teacher fetish sort of thing.
I didn't mean to say that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say it. I'm sorry.
I loved this scene because it's so funny, but it's so sweet. And, well, and then this scene, doing this with Lara, who totally risks and takes chances and is open and just an incredible actress.
This scene was a sound nightmare, and it just, again, you know, you have 30 minutes to shoot this scene, so I had to cover it just in a 2-shot, which worked out in the end. This scene, remember, we had like 15 minutes to shoot this entire scene. We were losing our location at 9 o'clock. We had to be off the premises, and it was like 8:40.
And we weren't allowed to smoke on the premises either, which we had a guy walking back and forth, checking us out. Yeah, we did this in like 2 takes, right?
We did it in 1 take.
In one take?
This is 1 take, and then when we flip.
Then we flip.
Yeah, we covered this whole scene. But it works, you know, and it's like you just have to go with it, you know. I think that, I mean, I'm not really a perfectionist, but I really like to have a lot of options. And I love to try different things with different scenes. And when you're on a budget like this and you have no time, it's like you just have to jump, you know? You just have to say, well, whatever we get is what we get, you know?
And remember what lines after you smoke your cigarette, where you're smoking your cigarette, or the joint.
And I have to say that Erin only flubbed 1 take the entire movie. You only flubbed. You're like, which one? But that's incredible. I mean, that is unheard of.
Which one? Did I flub though? I'm curious now.
I don't remember. I just remember it. There was just like 1, and that's it.
Nah, no need to worry.
You're a perfectionist, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
There's Marla and Greg.
Well, we're in there.
Marla is a friend of mine who came in and did this for me, and I just thought it was appropriate for the character, you know.
We are very excited.
Pretty straight girl, kind of perfect life. And Simone obviously struggling, you know, again with a scarf so she can hang herself. Okay, let's, Erin can't watch it.
No, I can't watch Marcus having sex.
But this was so uncomfortable to I'm sorry, I mean, The sex scene with the girls was easy. I mean, that was fun and exciting, but this was just uncomfortable. Diane and Marcus just met that day, and here I am like, okay, can you guys like get naked and get in the bed? And Marcus, can you just make it sound really just... It was just really uncomfortable, and we only had 2 takes to be able to do it. And, you know, sex scenes are, you want to be really gentle about them, but you got to make sure you get the emotion across at what you want. So it was just a fine line of, you know, and this scene was so uncomfortable to shoot also because obviously aunt and niece and drunk and alcohol and some sort of sexual undertones to it. And, but to me, it's also sad because you can just tell Mother Immaculata is just really lonely and just wants intimacy and to connect. I don't think she like wants to go down on Simone or anything, you know. I mean, I think she just wants love. But well, it's true, man. It's true. You know, like she's not thinking like, oh, I can get me some of this. You know, it's just like this woman who wants to connect. So it kind of breaks my heart a little bit.
Oh, and just in the way she
God, your boobs look huge there. Jesus.
They are, baby.
Tell me about this kiss.
Oh, it was funny. She was so nervous because she'd never kissed a girl before, and I've never kissed a girl before. What am I saying? No, just joking. And the first take, we went underwater, and we both started choking and laughing. Wow. Yeah.
And that smoke you see is not because it's hot, it's dry ice. That pool was so cold.
Oh God, it was freezing. And it was late, and I was tired.
And we had to ADR all that because of the traffic noise. So all that we had to do in a booth. This scene, this is to show the power of editing, I swear. When I first did the run through of editing it, with Lori, our great editor, I love this line. She is so funny. She's a Betty Davis impersonator. Did you know that? She's like, but for the original edit, I never even had Simone look at Annabelle or Annabelle look at Simone, and I just remember shooting it, but it wasn't in the edit. I mean, look at that look. I mean, that actually was not in the movie in that scene. And I was like, we dug and finally found the footage where that was. And it really helps create the tension for this next scene, the fact that they make that eye contact, because without it, it's like, I love the cat paintings. My friend Steven did all those cat paintings. You just turn it on in the scene. You're just like, that's it. I'm in. I'm coming in. Oh, we're sitting on that couch. That is my couch. And right now we are sitting on this couch. Ooh, that's kind of weird.
Should I start hitting on you?
Do you want to do the scene together? That could be fun. Yeah, I think I hit on everybody but you.
You did. I felt a little left out.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Depends on how hot the guy is.
You're like my sister, so it would be a little weird.
That could be fun. Maybe I'll do my next movie about 2 sisters. Yeah. I love the body language here. You know, we really worked on, you know, crossing the leg away and, you know, just at uncomfortable moments like playing with the cross and stuff.
Do I make you nervous?
Sometimes.
She's not my type.
Do I make you nervous?
Do you make me nervous?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Sorry.
I shopped around for that cross for 2 weeks to try to find the right cross. I'm very into like the small details because I just feel like they're important. Don't. I wish she wouldn't have said don't. If I could go back, I would re-edit her not to say don't and just use the look, you know? Or if I could go back, I would just have him have sex right there. Just have an extra sex scene.
On the couch.
Yeah, definitely. I fought with Alicia so hardcore about having that orange. She would not have it. She was like, "You're not going to put orange in there." I was like, "Yeah, I am." Get that, oh, bathtub scenes. There's like 6 of us in this small little bathroom right there, and that was uncomfortable because it was just so hot. We had like the smoke machine in there.
I like this scene.
I think it's sexy. Man, they tell me what they did to you. The makeup girls, they like put glitter on you and fake
They put
eyelashes.
glitter on me and fake eyelashes on me, and I felt like they did more, but
What's it like? I mean, because I'm not an actress. Like, what is it like when you're playing a scene that is sexy and you're supposed to be turned on? But there's a lot of cameras and stuff around you. I mean, do you actually physically can you get aroused when you're doing scenes where you're supposed to be aroused? I mean, does it come from a...
for me personally, I think you have to, otherwise you can't believe it. Our talent as actors is being honest and telling the truth. So you have to be.
Well, it never came across as, every time, I mean, that's always what I'm looking for when I'm watching is like honesty, but I can't ever be inside your body. It's like I can see if it feels truthful to me, and that's what I go on, but it's just, you just never, I feel like there's 2 different kinds of acting. I feel like there's actors who really act, but then there's actors who are just the character. It's like, I'm this person, it's coming from within me. And for me, that's the kind of actors that I always want to work with. I'm not inspired by, okay, I'm pretending to be this person and like referring to the character as something outside of themselves. I love the actors that are okay with just saying, okay, this is who I am right now. This is me, because that to me feels more truth from a place of truth.
Yeah, for me, there's no difference between me and the character.
And that's what was great about working with you and Diane, is you both came from that. I mean, you were both Annabelle and Simone, and I believe that's why the chemistry was so real, is you just were those characters in those 3 weeks of shooting.
Oh, no. I really wanted to be in the circus.
Is this, yes, Kat's parents, here. Is this the scene?
Performers, all those different performers.
They make me laugh.
One Sunday,
The rocker guy and the sexy bimbo mom.
Yeah. Some of those performers are gypsies, and gypsies are the
Her parents were great too. I mean, these were just all extras that came in, and we just kind of paired them together.
that you do not frequent a place.
If I could go back, I would take this look out.
My father never.
I just, so many looks. I'm just a hopeless romantic, and I look at, if I'm interested in someone, I am looking at them all the time. I am eyeballing them. I'm feeling them with my eyes. So I just felt like I wanted to do that, but now I just feel like it was too much. Like I just don't, but you can't go back, man. You just got to keep going forward.
I just don't think it's a good idea.
She lives.
Oh, I hate this scene. It was so hot and just no time, and had to cover it with a wide and a 2-shot, and
Situation is, Father Harris would like to see.
And I felt like this was an important scene because she's basically saying she's going to be alone with her, but I didn't have the time to cover it the way that I felt like I needed to cover it to get across what I wanted to get across, So it was really hard.
It sucks that you have to stay here for spring break.
There was so much cut out of this scene because when I originally wrote the script and what we shot was Kristen actually had a daughter, and that's why she was at the boarding school. And we shot with the little girl and we shot everything, and I ended up having to cut it because there were too many subplots going on between Collins cutting herself, Kat being attracted to Annabelle, and then Kristen with the child. I just felt like it was taking away the focus from Annabelle and Simone, which was what was interesting to me, you know, their scenes. This was a hard transition to get from her with the computer to this because we didn't have any time to shoot an entrance shot. So I had to try to Lori and I come up with something creative. And they had to do this in one take. So there was absolutely no, I mean, that's what you want, is you want to be able to do 10 different takes and try different things, because you never know when it's edited together what you want. So basically, you know, they each did it in one take, and I had to live with whatever they gave me, which was great, but obviously you always, you know, want to have other options to choose from. But this was a really sweet scene, I felt, you know. I felt they really liked each other.
You've always been my favorite. Do you realize that?
You said that to all of them.
And I like the way she plays this. Look how sweet she looks, you know. You can't help but love her, you know, and just kind of know that she's not a predator, and she's just a really sweet, genuine person.
You knew that was us?
My problem is that I know everything.
And that was all like instinctual, you know. He did that. I did not direct that.
Hi.
Hey.
This scene was a little
Where do you keep getting these?
annoying.
To say the least.
Well, it's also a reshoot. I mean, that right there is totally shot on a different day.
I don't usually smoke.
It just I remember that this day was hard. Everything about this scene was not working. You know,
You were smoking when I met
I remember it was the first thing we shot during the day, and I remember this just being a real challenge. Because it's tricky, because you have a teacher and a student, and it's such a fine line. I mean, they're basically going to go off campus together, and it just has to be believable. And I remember shooting this scene, and I don't have a lot of fear when I direct. I really just, or when I'm working, I just go for it. But I remember consciously thinking in this scene, like, shit, Katherine, it has to be believable. You know, like, if this scene, you have to believe that she would take her off campus, because if you don't, none of the movie is gonna work, you know? So I feel like the last moment when you kind of flirt with her and she kind of smiles, and it worked for me. Like, I believed it. I'm like, yes, they have a chemistry there. And we won't go talk about the beach. Yeah.
I think both of us are in agreement that the beach just didn't work.
At all, on any level.
Drive's too far
And if I could have, I would have cut this whole thing out.
You could make a career.
All this is ADR. You had to do it in a studio. Oh, it's just a nightmare. Whenever Erin and I have been at screenings, you will see us both leave when the beach comes up. It is so uncomfortable for us to even be watching it right now. It's kind of like having a bad relationship that you need to come to terms with. And I think we got to come to terms with it, don't we? No, we don't.
No.
Oh, it just makes me so uncomfortable. And they're actually really holding hands there, but I couldn't, it didn't make it in that switch. I mean, it just, none of it works. None of it. People, none of it works. I just, yeah. Filmmaking 101, first movie, what are you gonna do?
Were you in love with her?
Yes.
You still are across.
Just the body language, the composition, there's nothing I like about it. But I'm not gonna it's in the past, and we live with our choices.
And learn from it.
And we learned from
I
it.
learned a lot from that day of shooting.
Yeah, that day was off for all of us, and it shows, and it's a great lesson of how important it is when you're making a movie to be present and honest. And I just remember us three, we were all on such different vibrations that day, and none of us could sort of hone it in and bring it in. So I know that next time when stuff like that comes up, I know how to do it now. I know how to play it, but you know, when you're doing a first.
Simone?
There's the one thing that I would change about this too is when you say Simone. I would have not had you say her first name.
Simone.
In a perfect world, I'd go back and change that, you know? And originally I had Simone dropping the cross in the water, and then I just felt like, oh, that is so melodramatic. And there's this is like what did we call it? The like something with the
Shrine.
The shrine to me, because there's like 5 pictures of me there, but Alicia, our art director, had originally like 10 there, and I remember walking onto set and I was just like, oh my God. She was great though. She was like, hey, you just start big and you take away, you know? There's a lot of confusion about this letter. A lot of people have asked me about it. Point blank, it's a suicide letter. Yeah, girlfriend committed suicide. And you're about to hear me crying, and every time I hear this, I just want to cringe, but this was a hard scene to shoot. We could, honest to God, we could not get this scene. We could not nail this scene. No matter how many times we did it, we just could not, we couldn't do it. And I think that's why Erin and I have such a hard time watching it, is we just know, I think we both know what it could have been. But we didn't get that. You know, we didn't get what we wanted to get.
Which, there's the frustration with low budget, no time. Just didn't have time.
Yeah, we didn't have time. And you know what? When you have $50 million, you can watch it and say, you know what? That's not good enough. We're going to go back and do a reshoot. So yeah, I mean, originally all the beach stuff was longer. Remember at one point Annabelle had mushrooms? Kat had given Annabelle mushrooms for Easter break. So Annabelle brings the mushrooms to the beach and is going to put them and makes tea with it. And calls it mushroom tea. So yeah, Simone and Annabelle almost, that would have been a whole nother movie.
Actually, a script like way years and years ago, they did mushrooms together.
Oh, that's right, they did do mushrooms together. And I'll tell you why that changed is because I had done mushrooms with this person that I was dating, and it really like, what? Everybody's laughing at me. Like, I just guess I just say what I'm not supposed to say. But anyway, I'd done mushrooms with this girl, and it just connected us on this just beautiful level. But then once the mushrooms were gone, so was the level of connection. And I felt like I wanted them to connect on a real level. And I remember in the draft, Simone says, I don't need drugs to connect with you. And you played it really vulnerable. I remember that. I liked that. This scene didn't bother me. I liked it. I liked the way that it played out in the car. And this is way too melodramatic for me. I don't know what I was thinking. Like, oh, now you're gonna like touch the picture and like.
You just wanted to get her in the bathtub naked again.
Yeah, and then you're finally letting her go. It's like, give me a break. What melodrama? But it's, you know, you know what? I'm melodramatic though. I'm so melodramatic. So it works for me, whatever. What would have happened if you walked in that room? I often wonder.
We would have had sex.
You think you would have had sex?
Yeah.
That would have been hot to do it then. I mean, I'm glad we waited till the dance, but I love building up sexual tension, I swear. And what bugs me most sometimes in movies is when they build up the sexual tension and like nothing happens. It's like they kiss and then they like tilt down to a handhold. It's like, you know, I definitely wanted to.
Well, you took care of that one.
I sure did, didn't I? You have a look. You get to be angry now.
You slept with her, didn't you?
What's up with who?
I didn't sleep with anyone, and which is always fun for me, and I wish there was more of. Right there.
You like to be angry?
I do.
I had what?
Would you shut
You're
up?
good at being angry.
May I have your attention, please? As you all may have heard, this Friday night is our...
I love the shadow of Jesus's feet on the wall. I have no opinion about this scene whatsoever. Except I like your hair in this scene.
I like my hair in the whole movie.
You're very sexy in this movie. Don't you think?
Yes, if I don't say so myself.
I think Annabelle's sexy. You'd have sex with you?
Yeah.
Oh. This is one of my favorite scenes, actually. I really love this scene because I just feel like you get what's going on and there's no dialogue and it's just the body language and I love that like when you first touch someone, it's like even if it's just your knees touching, it's like it just sends like butterflies in your stomach. And I just really feel what they're going through here in this scene. So I'm not gonna diss this one. I kind of like it. What do you think of this scene?
I feel the same way, because it's, even though they have had physical contact before, I feel that this was the first time that they had.
Oh my God, this scene was originally before the beach.
That's
why I feel that this scene originally came before the beach. So that's why I played the touch so long, is because it was their first touch. But then we cut it to come later.
And this scene in the movie, I have to say, is my favorite scene in the entire movie.
This is my favorite scene too. And I really debated long and hard of whether to keep it in a 2-shot or to have coverage on it, because it was a reshoot for the coverage. And I really felt like I just wanted it to sit in a 2-shot the whole time, because I just feel like their dynamic together says everything. You don't need a camera to cover it, you know, they do it themselves. There's her scarf again, looking like she wants to just kill herself.
Yeah. Is this the part where I hear?
They did a lot of improv in the scene.
In the scene.
Mm-hmm. They went off together. They went off together for like an hour and just really sort of worked it out with each other, which I love. I am so not into actors sticking to words. I mean, I love to take chances and have, you know how I am.
You did that with us a lot, which was great, because then it was important that the dialogue feel true, and so it was fun to get to play in and out with like the three of us.
Yeah, I mean, that's my favorite thing, is to improv with your actors, like, and just sort of create it together. I mean, I would never want an actor to just think that they had to do exactly what I had written, because it doesn't seem like there's any freedom in that. It just seems very like a real controlled piece, rather than a community work of creation, you know?
You can help.
Which, as an actor, it's interesting, because the fear when you have a writer who is also the director, there's always a fear that they're going to be very strict, and you don't have that at all, and it's really nice too that you're so open.
Well, that's why I think it's hard for me to direct other people's work. You know, it's like if I direct my own writing, I can change it all the time. But if it's another person's writing, I would feel like I would always have to ask them, or like I just wouldn't feel very comfortable. I love this scene.
You haven't said a word to me.
Diane blew her wad on the rehearsal. I loved that. That was great. Do you remember that?
I do.
We rehearsed this, and we should have rolled on the rehearsal, but Diane just gave this amazing rehearsal and just cried, and it was so beautiful. But in hindsight, it's so good that she didn't go back to that place, because it wouldn't have worked. It would have played so sappy and so over dramatic. But in the rehearsal, it was really, I mean, it made me cry, and it's hard to make me cry with a performance, but I feel like it worked out the way it should have. All those takes of you were soft focus. There was something wrong with our focus, so we only had one to choose from. So luckily you always did really good takes. What kind of movie would it be if they just got on the desk right then and there and just had sex? Mother Immaculata and Simone.
Something the matter?
You know what I'm saying? I've always wanted to do that with a movie where you're just going in this like direction, and then you just do something that's like totally off the wall just to like do it, to have that freedom. So like then Simone she'd turn right now and she'd say, you know what, it's always been you. and then they would strip down and get at it on the desk.
I think you should. We should make Annabelle 2.
Loving Immaculata? Mm-hmm. Or we could make some real money and do an Immaculata XXX.
Think you'll hook up
Oh, the fight. Tell me about the fight.
Gustine's wrist was really messed up, so we couldn't really fight, which made it hard. And the very first time I pushed her into the camera, and her head just whacked the back of the camera.
Someone needs to get laid.
Kat, stop it! Annabelle, get off her!
I don't like that she beats me. I've never liked that, because me as Annabelle would kick ass. I'm a tough girl. She could not kick my ass. And I've always had a problem with that.
I see. Why didn't you ever bring that up to me? Because that's actually a really good point. Annabelle should have kicked Kat's ass. I think Kat had more built-up sexual like angst than Annabelle, so she had more testosterone kicking, so she actually could kick your ass. I love this shot. This is one of my favorite shots. You know, I just I think it's really pretty. I didn't want her to cry again, and I wanted to take this scene out, but I didn't feel like I had enough time alone with Simone and the poor girl. I mean, the truth is, if you're going through a breakup with a guy, you're attracted to your student, you have a dead ex-girlfriend, your aunt wants to fuck you, I mean, basically, you'd probably cry a lot. So I think it's okay that she cries twice in the movie. You know, I don't want to make a sappy chick flick. I really wanted to try to just make something that felt honest to me, you know?
It's a dance.
Jake Newton, one of my favorite people in the whole world. We actually share a birthday.
Who's Jake Newton? Tell him who Jake Newton is.
Jake Newton is, that's Jake Newton. He's like my brother, and every time, even while we were shooting this, that he would start singing this song, I'd start crying. Because I just love him so much.
This is a nightmare, because the reason it's a nightmare is because I don't know if people got that Michael was a teacher at the boys' school. I tried to establish that in the first restaurant scene where she's like, how are your classes going? But so I didn't know if it confused people that, oh my God, they've just broken up, which the breakup originally was way in the beginning of the script, but we pushed it back to create a little bit more, you know, conflict. But it's hard. This was a hard scene for me because you can tell that he's a little aloof about what's going on, but he also is a little too nice. And that's why you need so many choices when you shoot, because you don't know in editing where you're going to put things. Because originally the breakup was 40 minutes earlier than this, so enough time would have passed that he could be nicer. Whereas now it looks like 10 minutes have passed. So I wanted to just like slap my head off when I see that scene, but what are you gonna do? It's no budget filmmaking, you know? And I love those big balloons. Bruce is an amazing production designer. I don't like this at all. I didn't like this scene at all. Did you?
I liked that I was working with Jake.
Yeah.
I can do anything with Jake, even if it's horrible, and be happy with it. I liked this scene, though.
Did you like that I made you take off your dress and take down your hair? And
Because it's so something that I would do. And put the beads back on. This scene.
Your body was rocking, man. I mean, not that it's not rocking now, but you really prepped good with Annabelle's body.
This scene was the most terrifying scene of the entire movie.
Having a wonderful time.
I'm up on stage with no rehearsal, and Kat yells action. And I wanted to die because all of the extras are in the room, and it's 105 degrees in there, and they're all looking up at me, and it was horrible. I hated it.
Do you know what? I didn't give you a rehearsal because I didn't want you to get in your head too much about it. I knew if you rehearsed it once, you would be so like, but this right here is your first take. You know, when you, right there, this is your first take, and it's, you know, I mean, you nailed it. And this is not Erin singing. Erin can sing, but we elected to use a more sort of bassy singer's voice, because Erin's more of a high-pitched singer, but she can sing and she can play the guitar. So
I'm working on my tranny.
she's working on her inner tranny. That's a character that Erin and I and my other friend, we've created. It's a transsexual that sometimes has a lisp, and it helps you get in touch with your chakras down there.
Yeah, your lower chakras.
Yeah. Oh, we have the sex thing coming up. Tell me about this. Come on. Tell me about the kissing. It was hot, right? Come on.
The kissing was very hot, especially kissing in the rain. Thank you, Kat. Kat fought for the rain machine.
I fought hard for that rain machine. And the time for the sex scene. You know, everybody's always telling me, well, let's just enjoy this kiss really quick. Hold on. Let's just be quiet and enjoy it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, up against the wall. So, yes, I fought for this because, you know, we had no money and we had no time. And I said, look, I am so willing to compromise on everything but the sex scene. There has to be rain. I need time to be able to choreograph it. So this is actually, honestly, my favorite scene in the movie is the sex scene, because I feel like if I'm given the time and what I need, that I can really create something that I feel is really artistic and beautiful and sexy. So I feel really proud of what we did here, and just the lighting and I just feel like it's really sexy. And I felt that way while we were shooting it. And usually in sex scenes, they're not very sexy while you're shooting it, because, you know, you've got makeup coming in and you've got lights and people everywhere. But we did create like a sexiness while we were shooting it, which I feel comes across on screen. And I like that you're both wearing red, and I have to say that wasn't planned. I planned for Annabelle to be in red, but Diane told me that she had this really great bra and underwear that she wanted to bring, and I was like, go for it, girl. So she brought it, and it happened to be red. What's it like for you watching what is it? Describe to me what it's like watching this for you. I'm very curious.
It's actually all right, because I think that it's sexy. The hard part is right there. Watching my ass grinding on her is very hard, and it makes me uncomfortable. And I remember the first time that I watched it with you, I just about died. It was, yeah.
You had your whole face. When we were editing, I brought Erin in because, you know, obviously you want to be considerate to your actors about, you know, what they are gonna, you know. And she would not look. She was just like totally hiding in her lap. But it was not. It was like after you watched it a couple times, it's like you got more and more comfortable with it.
I got to watch that sitting next to my dad the second time he saw it.
How was that?
It was actually okay. It was. I was afraid beforehand, but he's so great about it that it was okay.
So this ending, from this point on is really hard for me to watch because, like I said, if I could have gone back and done some reshooting, I would have elongated the end to give it a little bit more space to breathe. But I just felt like also that sometimes in life, like, you know, right when you make that risk or you make that choice, the consequence of that choice can happen so quickly, you know? And the fact that they're about to get busted within, you know, I mean, we just saw them making love like 5 minutes ago and now they're busted. It was a tough choice for me, but I just, I felt like I just wanted it to just bam, 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 you know?
I want to see you in my office. Right now.
This was a hard scene right here, this one.
Mm-hmm.
That did not just happen.
Because I wanted, when I was writing this particular scene, like I wanted there to be closure with them. I wanted them to talk about, to just talk. But as I was writing it, I was like, it just doesn't happen like that. It just, you don't sit down and have some sort of closure right when it happens. I mean, that shit comes within a month or 2 months or whatever. It's like you basically just have to say to the person, you gotta go right now, you know? And it was really hard for me because I felt like, wow, you know, I mean, that's kind of their second to last moment together and they don't really get to have a moment. They don't get, I mean, them making love was their last moment together because the two that are coming up, that one and the one in the hallway, I mean, it's fluctuated with so much. You look so sad there.
But never was it known.
Look at Laura, how she's looking at you. Kevin just started saying this prayer. How I had written it was that Annabelle was just not hearing anything. And Kevin asked me, he's like, can I say this prayer that I know? And I'm not Catholic, so I don't know any of the prayers. And I was like, absolutely. And it just cut in so nicely, you know, intercut. And I was scared that it was going to be a little dramatic, so I chose to take out the music score that we had so that it wasn't like, you know, freaking walking the plank or something.
Come in.
I like this scene.
Yeah, this is another one of my favorite scenes. Eileen is really powerful in it.
And there was a huge editing debate for me too, because in one version, Simone says, I don't expect you to understand, and then that was it. But originally in the script, it was, I don't expect you to understand, but I love her. And I went back and forth in edits for months because I really didn't know for a long time if Simone really loved Annabelle or if it was just about those people that just come into your life and awaken parts of you. And so it was really hard for me because I was like, wait a minute, if she says I love her, that is just, it's a whole different movie, you know? So I opted for mini screenings to keep the I love you out. And then I watched it being screened in Nashville, and I just felt like that she loved her.
I love her.
That she does love her. And so I fought to put it back in. So it's in now.
I'm sorry, Simone.
This scene used to have this epic hug in it where they ran down the hallway and met in the middle, and I did this steady cam shot where they hugged and then they were pulled apart, and I was just like, oh God, no. This is my favorite look that you give, right? I love that. It's really sweet, breaks my heart. So now it's much more simple and cut down, and I just feel it's a lot more effective. You had an emotional day that day, man. You had to cry like, you must have cried like 13 or 14 times.
Mm-hmm.
I like that shot right there. And the music, I have to say that Mark and Judith with A-U-R-A-H, Aura, amazing musicians. I just really think the music in this movie is, I'm really proud of the music and what we did with the score. I really think it's beautiful. You always shake your leg when you cry. Did you know that?
It's been pointed out to me.
And your pinky, you when you're really emotional, like I can tell, we know each other so well now that I can tell when you're coming from a really honest place, because your finger will start to sort of vibrate and move, and you tap it. And when you're not coming from a truthful place, it doesn't do that. So it's very interesting. I took these photographs of you, do you remember? Mm-hmm. On the beach.
And that's why I couldn't wear jewelry on that scene.
So this is my favorite ending of the two that we shot. We shot a happier ending and we shot this ending. And I love this ending because I feel like it's A, true to life, and B, it's really that message of, for me, it's like there are consequences that come from the risks that you take, but it's always worth it in the end, you know, to take the risk, especially to take the risk to love, even if you get hurt. And that's why I chose to keep the ending the way that it is. Do you like this ending?
I do, yeah. I do. I feel like it's true to life, and
we learned so much while making. I think that Erin and I both kind of grew up while we made this film. I've been on it, was on it for 8 years, but Erin was on it for 5 of those, and it's like I watched her grow, and I think she watched me grow, and I think that part of our growth is kind of on the film. It's like in there, you know, when I watch it, I can see sort of, you know, our own stuff that, you know, we've gone through in our own personal lives, you know. I'm glad that you did it.
Me too. I'm glad that you had faith in me to do it.
I always had faith, like right from the beginning when I first saw you. I was just like, I knew that you could do it, you know? And even, because it wasn't even just that people doubted you, that you could do it, but that meant that they doubted me. They doubted me as a director, that I knew what I was doing, that I knew that you were the right person. So really, I mean, we fought against all the odds because no one really wanted it to happen that way. You know, they wanted a name. They wanted someone edgier, you know, and I just knew that you could do it. And it's amazing. Belief is everything. It's amazing what you will do and what risks you'll take if someone believes in you, you know.
Thank you.
Thank you. If people have watched all the way to this part, then they are dedicated.
And they deserve a special little treat.
Should we like make out now?
Well, we practically
And just
did
for the
because
record, Erin and I are not a couple, okay? Just for the record. We know we're close as shit, but we're not a couple.
But we have kind of made out because in the sex scene, you're doing all of Simone's breathing.
That's right. That's right. Well, I heard that you're a really good kisser, and I've heard that I'm a really good kisser. So if we ever did make out, it would be good kissing. Wow. That is like the most profoundest thought I've ever had. And I love this song. This song at the end, my friend Olivia wrote it, and I just feel like it sums up everything, man. So props to that too. I think we're done. Adios, muchachos.
Ciao.
Ciao now. We love you.
Ciao now, brown cow.
We love you.
We love you. That's the other one. Love.
I love you. I love you. That was fun.
Amazing grace with electrolytes. Hey, could you do that again? 'Cause you fill me up time and time again. Never need to draw the line. These moments don't need to be defined. I'm in a state of euphoria. If I told you the story, I'd bring you to your knees. Never knew what I was really missing, but now I do, and I've been decompressing. Baby, don't look back. Baby, don't look back. Love has broken you. Love has broken me. Love has broken you. And love has broken me.